Hey guys, how you doing today? Just here with my little puppy. Hey buddy, how you doing? Being a little puppy. Big yawners. Yeah, big yawners. It's almost his bedtime. He's such a little sweetheart. Um Today I'm going to be talking about the hashtag RIP capitalism that's been going around. RIP capitalism. Um in the midst of like all this let's open up the economy talk that's been going on, the workers have essentially been silenced the way that they always are silenced by the kind of media propaganda machine. The media propaganda machine, of course, defers itself to power first and foremost, and workers don't have power in this society, so they get silenced. They're not allowed to talk. And so a moment like hashtag rip capitalism, and of course, if you're one of those people, you have no idea what I'm talking about. So hashtags trend on places like YouTube and Twitter and all of these sorts of places, and they're decentralized, right? So they're just ideas that come up, and people say all kinds of things through hashtags, and they're a way to search people's messages. So if I put a hashtag, which is just like the number sign, right? If I put a hashtag in front of something and I say like hashtag pearls, then if somebody does a search for pearls, they're probably going to find your hashtag. So if somebody does a hashtag RIP capitalism, then they're going to find posts that are associated to RIP capitalism. And it is a moment when the working class and the working people and people who have been silenced are giving voice and galvanizing around a very specific idea, and that idea is that capitalism is dead. I mean, I think if you are among the working class, it's pretty clear that, yep, capitalism as a system is on its way out. That what's happening now is the people who are in positions of authority and power are funneling capital into this zombie system so it can continue shambling around and feeding on people. But it's a dead system that doesn't work anymore because, very simply, people are recognizing that selling themselves into this labor market has only empowered a small group of billionaires who then take the capital that we all generate for them and offshore it. You can't have a functioning economy that way. Economies need to operate in cycles, right? That if, like literally, if you were the analogy that I've been thinking about recently, I'll use the same analogy that the senators here in Canada used in their letter of support for the basic income. An economy works like a circulatory system in the body, right? You have a heart that is pumping blood. The blood is the money, right? And the money flows through the systems and create life for those systems. And that once the blood flows through the system, it comes back to the heart to be repumped again, right? It's a circulatory system. That's how economies are. That's how they function. Our current system, if you were to think about it as if it was a circulatory system, well, on the side of that circulatory system, we've attached an edifice or a parasite, if you prefer, that draws blood out of the system and then just pools it in some vat or something. And what that does is it means that there's less and less blood circulating through the body, and instead you've got all your blood pooling outside in a vat or a container or something that's serving no one and doing nothing. And then when it comes time for us to say, hey, maybe we should infuse blood back into the system, the response is, well, where are you going to get all that blood? And so it's no wonder why people are trending hashtag rip capitalism, right? That this is the way capitalism has been working in the last 40 years. It's been siphoning away productive activity, blood, and just putting it into offshore accounts and vats and just worthless kind of things. And people aren't able to get access to the economy, and they're being and so what the system has to start doing, what the blood has to start doing, is it has to start choosing where it sends itself. And so if you're a liver, right, you're going to get less blood into your system, and people, organs of your society and people in your society are just going to get excluded. They're going to get excluded from the system. And so this is how capitalism kills itself, right? Eventually, there are enough people who are banished or separated from the system that they have to rebel, they have to revolt, and the system has to start fighting itself. Meanwhile, the people who are in power are doing everything they can to try to kind of create a zombie version of this. So, especially down in the States, here in Canada, it's a little tiny bit less of this, but not by enough. Anytime they funnel money into the hand of a billionaire, right, or into the hand of a kind of multimillionaire who's just buying stocks on the stock market, they're just propping up a zombie economy, right? They're not letting blood actually flow through. They're just taking more blood away from the system, handing it into the hands of these billionaires, who then just offshore it and put it into offshore accounts and all of that. They're not actually creating really economic growth. They're not actually creating a system that benefits anybody. They're just propping up a dead system so it can shamble around and infect more people and cause more problems for everybody. I've been saying it for a while now, and it's just so worth restating, is that, like, the Earth has given us a time out, without a doubt. The Earth stood up and said, what you guys are doing is not working for me. I'm going to just sprinkle out a little timeout moment. And it's this timeout moment, like this virus that we're facing here, the COVID-19 virus, right? This is the smallest thing that it can do. I've been saying that for a while, but this is the smallest thing that the world can throw at us. And it is absolutely incapacitating us. It is absolutely crippling us. And I feel like what we're facing now is a complete failure of imagination, right? A basic income, right? We know because of the childcare benefit. I'll talk about this all day long too. The childcare benefit generates $2 of economic activity, boink, for every dollar you spend. So if I walked up to you and I said, hey, give me $1, I'll give you $2 back, right? You would probably give me $1, and then I would give you $2 back. And I would say, every single time you give me $1, I'm going to give you $2 back. You would do everything you possibly could to give me as much money as you possibly could. If every single time you gave me money, I gave you twice the amount back. And you would think that you would think it's a great blessing. You would think it's the greatest thing ever, and you would completely double down on that idea. You could literally give me $1, I would give you $2 back, and then you could take those $2, and then I would give you $4 back, and then you would take those $4, and you see how this grows exponentially, right? And so what we need to do is we need to put the old economy to bed. We need to rip capitalism and just say, goodbye, you are now a corpse, we're going to put you in the ground. And we need to rebuild an economy that works for individual people, that works for the people who live in the society. And the way to do that is through a basic income. Like, we don't need to scrap the market economy. We don't need to get rid of everything we're doing. We simply need to say, hey, individual people need access to this economy. And the access that they have is already by itself valuable. It's valuable to have people, to have everybody connected into this economy. It's valuable to have everybody working, not even working, but just connected. It's valuable to have everybody connected to this market, because the circulatory system itself is more valuable than the whims of a couple of billionaires, right? That we if we took all of the blood that has been extracted from our society and we redistributed it into the society, that would be the best thing for us. It would be a transfusion, an infusion. It would transform the way we operate, because everything around us and everyone around us would have what they need to meet the bare necessities. And it's getting to the point now where it's actually lunacy to fight against it. Capitalism, I think to say capitalism is dead is an overstatement, obviously. I think what the capitalists want to see and what most people want to see is a reform of the system. I think that's what most people are ready for, and a basic income is that reform. A basic income says to everybody, we are all in this together. We are not going to abandon you. We are going to provide you the resources you need for survival. And we are going to allow you to have the freedom you need in order to pursue what it is you're here to do. We're going to give you the time you need to find your meaning. And of course, there's going to be people who gripe and complain that, like, oh, you just want to smoke pot. Meanwhile, they're guzzling a gallon of beer, right? Oh, you just want to play video games. Meanwhile, they'll watch sports all day. Like these sort of hysterical people. I mean, the old hashtag was OK Boomer, right? And I don't like to engage in it, but there does come a point where you just need to say to these people, like, your opinion is no longer relevant, right? You're supporting a zombie economy. You need to get rid of it. And that's really where we need to go, right? The desires of the billionaire class are no longer relevant. They're supporting a zombie in this kind of dead, calcified system. We need to start focusing on what works. We need to start moving into ideas that work. We need to rebuild an economy that actually benefits the people. Instead of doubling down on this failed sort of zombie system. If you guys have been hearing a lot of snurfling in the background, it's because my little guy here, he's got a little bone. Yes, he does. Milo thinks that capitalism is dead too, and that it needs reform as well. Yes, he does. He's happily chewing on his little bone, though. Isn't he just the sweetest? There you go. Little sweet little thing at the end of this video. Good luck out there, guys. Rip capitalism. Let's rebuild something better for ourselves and for future generations. Peace. Good luck.